Welcome to this webinar, which provides insights on nurturing English as an additional language, with a focus on supporting the work of junior infant teachers as the children transition into primary education. The full series also includes an introductory webinar and webinars for parents and early years educators. These insights take account of research, as well as inspectors' findings in early learning and care settings, and the advice provided by inspectors to promote improvement. Firstly, it is important to note that your work in relation to English as an additional language will be underpinned by a number of key publications as shown on the screen. Alongside these publications, this webinar highlights how early learning and care settings nurture EAL in many practical ways, and how these approaches can be extended in the primary school classroom. Asher outlines how play is the main medium for children's learning and development in early learning and care settings, including their language acquisition and development. In this webinar, we show how ELC settings and teachers in junior infant classrooms can use play and playful approaches effectively to support language development. When a child who is speaking English as an additional language starts in your school, they may have spent from a few weeks up to 2 years in an early learning and care setting. The child may have attended another preschool outside of Ireland where they did not have an opportunity to use English. The child's family may have limited or no proficiency in English, or they may have a reasonable to very good grasp of English. Whatever the case may be, it is fair to say that each child's language learning journey is different, and the best quality support is child-centred. When a child starts school, they want to express their care needs, make friends, and learn. However, the child with EAL may feel challenged, as their ability to express themselves through the school's language is limited. This quotation from the Intercultural Education in the Primary School Guidelines notes these challenges and stresses the importance of a warm, welcoming and positive environment. To generate a warm, welcoming and positive environment, educators in ELC settings strive to find out about a child's family and get to know the child as much as possible. Schools often take similar steps. For example, on the school enrolment form made available in parents' home language, information about their child's competencies, likes and emergent interests can be sought. Later on in this webinar, we will consider how this information is used most effectively to support the child's language acquisition through play. If the child is transitioning from an early learning and care setting, parents may choose to share their child's Mushgale with the school. Mushgale helps to tell the story of the child's learning and development in the setting, and by reading it carefully, the teacher can really get to know the child, their interests, likes and dislikes. Inspectors have found that some early years educators use translation software or enlist the support of a parent or community member who speaks the same or a similar language as ways to support information sharing with parents. Welcome packs, policies, procedures, or other necessary messages are translated into different languages, and the settings website may have translation capacity. Additionally, visual displays, picture books, and photographs are used to communicate key information to parents effectively. Many primary schools take similar steps to communicate effectively with parents. Supports created by IDJA are available by scanning the QR code on screen. Before the child starts at school, a visit to the school is very reassuring for both the child and the parent. At their own pace, they observe the environment, see the classroom, where they will play at lunchtime, where the toilet facilities are, where they will hang up their coat, sit and play. Parents help them to understand the school's procedures as they engage with them in their home language. The child may see some interesting toys and books, which they can look forward to seeing again. Most importantly, they meet their teacher and get to know their teacher's name and hear a friendly hello. In high-quality settings, inspectors note that educators respectfully ask the child, the parents or a translator to clarify how the child's name is pronounced. And if the child corrects the pronunciation, the educator takes careful note. This practice is replicated in many primary schools. Learning a new language is a reciprocal effort with the adults and children learning together. In a sensitive manner and being mindful of the child's experiences to date, high-quality early learning and care settings make efforts to represent each child's cultural background through displayed images, artefacts, play materials, and books or texts in a variety of languages in the settings environment. Similarly, these materials and images are often displayed in the primary school classroom. The adults and children discuss the well-known sites of interest, people, day-to-day items, and cultural traditions. An age-appropriate map is also useful. The child may find a city associated with their family or show you a famous mountain range. Family artefacts, toys, real items, and storybooks from the child's home country are added to the classroom's interest areas. Teachers source images or resources from the child's family where this is possible. These approaches really affirm the child and make them feel, my culture is rich and interesting, and I like telling my new friends about where I've come from. Further support is offered on the Mother Tongues website, www.mothertongues.ie. Alongside these initial steps, educators also learn some key phrases or words in the child's home language, especially the word for bathroom or toilet, and how the child may express thirst or hunger, hot, cold, and sad. Picture prompts are used by educators if a child needs to use the bathroom. They can show a picture of the bathroom to the adult, and the adult models the appropriate phrase. In time, the child will learn to use the phrase, I need to use the bathroom. This can also be replicated in the junior infant classroom. On a day-to-day basis, in early learning and care settings and at school, the children hear many phrases associated with the daily routine. Some of these phrases are shown on screen. Where more than one adult interacts with the child, it is very beneficial to use the phrases consistently, and in time, the child will use the phrases accurately. In high-quality settings, the child's home language is really valued. The children and parents are reassured that they can communicate in their language of choice and that the child may continue to speak their home language at home and in the setting. This is because the home language forms the foundation for later language development and learning. By learning and hearing different languages, a child is nurtured socially and emotionally. Their receptive skills, that is the ability to understand language, are enhanced, and their expressive skills, that is the ability to speak the language, are also enhanced. Children receiving high-quality ELC provision have ample opportunities for discussion and to engage in higher-order interactions. Inspectors note these opportunities can arise while they engage in free mark-making and process-oriented art, for example. The educator's use of storytelling, rhymes and songs enables the child with EAL to use and unconsciously practice the same phrases repeatedly with growing confidence, and they experience a sense of mastery as they recite fluently. Gradually, they will incorporate some of the language and phrases from the stories, rhymes and songs into their daily interactions. This practice is equally important in supporting English language acquisition in the junior infant classroom. In high-quality settings, play is regarded as the central medium through which language acquisition and development are supported. Similarly, in primary schools, the primary curriculum framework promotes engagement and participation through child-led play pedagogy. Teachers encourage children to communicate expressively, using new words and language, free from an overly formalised approach to learning. Play scenarios facilitated in settings and schools are the ideal platform for language development. The scenarios do not rely on specific language, but they are language rich. Initially, the child uses their home language, and then as they play, they hear and learn the English language. When their confidence develops, they use some English to communicate with their peers. Where the scenario is built around a child's interests, the child's concentration is sustained, and they listen, engage, and learn more effectively. Additional guidance on using sociodramatic play to support oral language development can be found in the Primary Language Curriculum Toolkit. Many early learning and care settings use a key person approach, whereby each child is assigned a key educator who is primarily responsible for creating a close relationship with the child and his or her family. This secure relationship provides the ideal safe space for the educator to support the language acquisition of their key group of children. Similarly, in primary school, the children and an attentive adult can work together, and the in-class model of support provides an ideal basis for this approach. The role of the adult goes beyond setting up the play scenario and providing the materials. The adult is an active play partner in the play scenario. During playtime, separate activities such as testing reading skills or correcting homework are avoided. When educators and teachers engage with children, it is the quality of the interactions that counts. Rather than forming a specific group of children, the adult observes and follows the children to hear their preferred play activities, and there, the adult engages with the children purposefully and intentionally as a genuine play partner. The adult speaks naturally, continuously, accurately and fluently, using full sentences that are grammatically accurate. Most importantly, insofar as is possible, the adult stays with the children. Now we will consider a play scenario at a sand tray. Here the children enjoy using sand and are interested in dinosaurs. The adults and children chat as they play. Some children speak English fluently and some children are learning to speak English. In this example, the child makes some errors and the adult models the correct pronunciation and grammar as they interact in a hands-on manner. In high-quality settings, the children's learning is extended through open-ended interactions. For example, let's look at this book to see what the dinosaur might eat. Do you remember our dinosaur song? Would you like to take a photograph of the dinosaur to show your mum and dad? Maybe you would like to draw the king and queen. We have lots of colours: red, green, purple, yellow and blue. The adults plan new vocabulary for the child to hear and eventually use. For example, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, phrases, colours and numbers. The most effective play scenarios are based on the children's interest. So for example, if the children are interested in cars, they will benefit from an area with toy cars, a racing track, checkered flag and ramp, start and stop signs, car magazines, leaflets and brochures. Further information about learning through play is provided in the Insight series entitled Learning Through Child-Initiated, Child-Led Play. This brings us to the end of this webinar. Thank you for listening. If you have queries or comments, please email us at insights_info@education.gov.ie. Here is a list of further information and resources which you may find helpful.